Now look at this beauty, the Boeing 747-100 SCA, and it's, as you can see already in the picture, it's a special one because this one is the NASA, let's say 747, which has the Discovery on top of it. So let me pause the video and then find, I would say, a correct space to take off and then start recording to show you how it really looks like. And we're on Andrews Air Force Base, and Andrews Air Force Base is one of the airports where a shuttle could land, right? Besides the one, of course, at Kennedy Airport. If you would look now at the aircraft, you don't see the shuttle, right? And that's expected. And the reason is that we need to adjust the weight of the aircraft, right? We can see the connection points here. There are 3 in total, right? One over here and the other 2 here. So what we need to do is we need to adjust the weight. And the weight for the Endeavour space shuttle can be changed here. And depending on the value you put in here, it will start to appear, right? So if we put in 50,000, you don't see anything yet because we need to decrease the load also. Depending on the, I would say, value you put in here, you will have either the shuttle, I would say, with cover over these exhaustions or without. So if you put in this value, it will be, I would say, without. But if you would put in a higher value, you would see it will, say, cover the exhaustions, right? So be aware of that. There are 3 values which you can specify based on the information found in the release notes. You can either set it to below 50,000, and then it won't show the orbiter. You can set it between 50 and 140,000, then the orbiter will show, and the real weight will be forced to 140,000 pounds. Between 140 and 220, you will see it as the real rate. That's what we're gonna look at in a few minutes, and you can set it above 22,000 pounds. Then the orbiter will show with its reactors cover, right, with the exhaustions cover. So be aware of that there are different values which you can put here, and depending on the value you put in here, it will put a cover, I would say, over this part of the shuttle or not. If we look at the details, you can see, I would say, a lot of details here, right? You can see the tiles over here, you can see some details made over here, really usage. You can go in the shuttle, but unfortunately there's nothing in there. The same thing applies to the, I would say, 747, but of course you can go inside the aircraft itself, which is the 747. And if you install the Salty 747 add-on, there's good news because you can use the Salty 747 051 and it works perfectly. So the thing which is new is this console, right? This console allows you to, I would say, control the aircraft or at least control the shuttle. And initially it will show you the value of the shuttle itself. And then you've got a few lights here. And these are the conditions for release, right? So to make sure that you can release the shuttle, all these 4 ones need to be illuminated. And of course also the arm one needs to be illuminated. So we need to be above 5,000 feet. The pitch needs to be between 5 down and 3 up. And then the speed needs to be between 330 and 280. And the banking needs to be between 5% left and 5% right. So you can't make a big turn because then you can't release the shuttle. So everything is fine. So let's leave that for now and let's focus on the takeoff. Before doing that, we're of course gonna adjust our altitude to 10,000 feet. That's, would say, good for now. We're also gonna adjust our course a bit, and the reason that we do that is there's, I would say, a large mountain in front of it, so we're gonna adjust the course to 270. Normally you would of course plan a flight, but in this case we're not gonna do. We're gonna adjust the speed because we need to fly a speed above 230, right? So we can set to 235, which looks okay. All the throttling has been activated, the flight director has been switched on, the autopilot hasn't been switched on yet, but that's something we can do, I would say, later on. Gonna perform some last checks. So the flaps are set, So let's give it a try, right? And let's see if we can take this one into the air. Funny, it goes into reverse. Has to do with the setup of the joystick. Seriously. Here we go. So, while driving or taxiing, you can see that I would say, jet and shuttle are moving. And stay on the center of the runway. Until we heard the V1, right? So there's a few things, right? We didn't prepare, right? We didn't configure the flight computer, so all the wrong way, I know. But this is just to show the add-on. Because talking about the add-on, the good thing is that it's completely free. So you don't have to pay for it. You simply go to Flight Simulator 2 and download the version from there, which is cool. So I put up the gears. Still having a positive climb, so above 3000. So let's activate the autopilot. In that case, let's set the flight level change, and also set the heading select mode. So everything goes as we want it to go. LNAV won't work because we of course didn't set up the flight plan.
Edwards Tower Boeing frequency change. Joshua approach Boeing is type Boeing B748 4 miles southwest of Edwards, 4,600 feet. Request flight following. Boeing Joshua approach. Squawk tree 744.
So we're gonna adjust our course.
Boeing. Boeing radar contact 6 miles southwest of Edwards, 5,200 feet. Altimeter 29.902. Roger, Boeing.
Adjust our course to yeah. What is it doing? It's probably due to the fact that LNAV is on, so let's switch it off.
Boeing contact Joshua approach on 126.1. Good day.
So adjusting the course a bit.
Joshua approach Boeing 6,000
Yeah, it was due to the LNAV being switched on.
Joshua approach altimeter 29.
So it looks like there are some flight plans in. In the meantime, it also switched off the autopilot, right? Because we made a hard correction. And as you can see, it still turns back because of the heading hold. Not sure what the aircraft is doing, but it definitely does not look good. So adjust the course a bit to heading 280. Now it goes into the correct direction. So we're going to fly direction of 270. You can see that the speed is, I would say, that automatically moved back to the speed which we flew when I pressed the flight level change option. So let's increase that one again. Then in the meantime, to speed up the process, we're gonna switch on the remove this option if it allows us to do it. Doesn't look like. In that case, we're gonna wait until we hit the 10,000 feet. Can also, of course, switch off the auto throttle and then full throttle the aircraft, also an option. In the meantime, you can see that we're climbing also speed-wise, but also altitude-wise, right? So that's good. And when turning this one, it moves the position up to here. We need to be careful because else we go into overspeed mode, and that's something we don't want, of course. Slowly climbing. See the pitch rate is a little bit higher. So now if we would look at these, let's say nice sliders, you can see that we're definitely not meeting, I would say, the prerequisites, right? We're not meeting the between 5% and 3% up. And we're also not meeting the 230 and 280 knots. But I think that's expected, to be honest, because we're not at the correct altitude yet, which allows us not to switch back to the speed mode. Because that allows us to increase the speed to 230 knots. But we're almost there, right? Only 500 feet. You can see that the rest of the options, like the banking and the altitude, those are in place, so that's good. So here we are at 10,000 feet. Now it moves back to speed mode, right? So now we can switch on the, or now we can turn this wheel. Which allows us to increase the speed. And now we can see that the speed has increased. However, the between 5% and 3% up, that one doesn't illuminate yet. Not sure why, to be honest, because I think we're meeting this prerequisite. Oh, here we go. The weird thing is that it also started to illuminate once we were above 235 knots, right? So now everything should be okay, right? So we're in, say, stable position. You can see the aircraft flies a nice altitude, nice speed, but the arm button is not illuminated. Well, to do that, we simply need to press this button. And as you do that, you can see that you have this option here, which says Release Shuttle, which is not illuminated. So if you press it, you will see that the shuttle goes away. So bye-bye shuttle. The weird thing, of course, is that the shuttle will simply stay stuck in the air and then will disappear. So here ends also the review of this cool add-on. I think it's really cool to have the possibility to have, I would say, a shuttle on the roof of your aircraft and to play around with it. I'm really looking forward to the improvements which the developer is definitely gonna make for this one. But already kudos to him or her who created this nice add-on. Really adds value to Flight Simulator. For those who are playing it on the Xbox, well, kind of disappointing news. You can't use this one because this one is, I would say, only applicable for playing it on the computer or on the PC. Installation is really easy. Simply extract it into the community folder and then you are ready to go. If you want to download it, have a look at the description of this video where you will also find the download link of this nice aircraft. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.